Hello, my name is Abe. Welcome back to Enter the Gungeon as the probably says pilot. Yeah, it's pilot. All right. I like a good pilot run. I like being able to open up everything. It's my warm-up run for the day. I have an absolutely wonderful cup of sweet coffee here. I say sweet because I added a little bit too much creamer in here, but because it's like a sweet creamer, but it's still delicious. I'm having a good day today. I'm ready for my warm-up, I'm ready for my coffee, and I am ready to hopefully have a very fun run of Gungeon here. I can't remember what we had on the last run. It had to have been pretty good, right? Was that the charge shot run? I don't know. They all kind of blur together after a while. You know what I need? Replace Gungeon with Isaac one of these days. What I need is a truly catastrophic Gungeon run. I think that would be kind of hilarious and a lot of fun. We've had runs recently that have not been, 10 out of 10s, but they haven't been like super train wrecks. I would kind of love a super train wreck run. I mean, I suppose I could always do that myself by cough, forcing myself to use Casey for the whole run. Cough, play BCDD20T. Cough, never be able to pick up items or have to use the pilot lockpick for all the chests, except wait a minute, we tried that once before and it worked very well. Thank you very much. Thank you, finished gun. Link 5, welcome. You have to play challenge mode. Yeah. All the Gungeon challenge modes, they don't interest me anymore. I want to be able to pick up guns. I want to be able to, not have to worry about walking into a room and being able to, or not being able to actually dodge because it's adrenaline rush or something. Oh, so good coffee. I'm back off the wagon again, I want to say. Always forget which is which on that, but for the past few days, well, for the past couple of weeks, I've been drinking more coffee, and I kind of have my on and off period of coffee drinking, which is I feel like I need a little bit of energy. It's delicious, and then 3 weeks later, I'm like, you know what? I'm not feeling too well. But I'm currently on my high, so to speak. But I like it. I like being able to feel like I could just have a delicious beverage on my own and say, hey, you know what? If it makes future Abe feel bad, that's his problem, not mine. Now look, am I trying to make a little bit of small talk while we wait for the other chest, fight our boss, see what this run has in store? Absolutely. You know what this run has in store? A little bit of lag, first of all. Second of all, a freaking key? Give me that free key. Give me a rainbow chest, please. I want to have a rainbow run, and not by the Rainbow Man either. I want to have it happen on my own. Ranistan says, sheets make good coffee. I don't know what that is. It must be like a regional thing. I don't know what Sheets coffee is. Other than Sheets, man, that's some good coffee. That is a tasty burger. In which case, that's a great name, brand name for a coffee company. Sheet, that's good coffee. Gas station. I don't go to the gas station because I don't drive, so I don't get gas station coffee. I just got hit there. Can't pick up ammo, you need to switch to new weapons, or you have to use a starter pistol. So Cat Samurai says, a challenge run, no ammo, only guns. That seems like a bad idea. It's definitely doable. It seems a little stale. Just because after a while, you're just gonna be using your starter pistol for half the run. You're gonna save all of your guns for boss fights. Speaking of saving your guns for boss fights, that solves our boss gun problem for the entirety of the run, so now we can use the M1911 for other things. It's gonna incentivize using the pistol, and that'll be boring. It's not even so much that it's boring, it's just long. It takes a long time to kill anything using your starter pistol. I mean, it's better than just using your starter pistol for literally the whole run, including bosses, because that is truly devastating. But I mean, you can't say that a starter pistol boss fight is boring, because it's not. It's just slow. Okay, please give me spice. I think we had spice on the last run, but game, if you would please, would you kindly give me a little bit of spice? I would love it. I will buy the key. We have a lot of cash. Nothing to sell. Let's get out of here. We actually have an excess key too. There's Mud. How you doing? Dig for victory. Dig for spice. Link5 says, I'm down for anything that makes Abe having trouble, though. I see how it is. You just want to make my life miserable. Well, if that's the case, then you should all be voting for, you know, something that's not Gungeon whenever I ask people what they want me to play. Then you could make me truly miserable. You could have me play, I was gonna say Cowboy Bebop, that's not the name of the game. Bunny Hop, or whatever that game was called. Oh Lord. Brooke says, maybe if I ask enough times, it'll happen. I'm sure Mud's just gonna tell me that I'm being lazy and I'm not actually trying to figure out when we're gonna be playing multiplayer games together, in which case he's totally right! But do you have to call me out like that, man? Oof, oof. Can we play some Cowboy Bebop, please? I've never actually seen Cowboy Bebop. I've not seen many animes, like, at all. Like, at all. I know it is an extremely heavily rated show, like, highly rated, I should say, but still have not seen it myself. Maiden Shield, you know? Shield Knight. You reload and it creates temporary shields. You know, sure. I'm not really gonna be using the bomb all that often, but I'm not gonna be using the shield all that often, but at least it's something, and then we get a mini shield whenever we reload this gun. So, sure. Doesn't last forever, but it lasts long enough. Ranistan says, I'm excited for a Dark Souls 2 randomizer. I gotta be honest. I did a little bit of looking into Dark Souls 2. I really don't want to play that game. It is bad. Like, it is actually just straight up, like, not really a good game. A randomizer would certainly make it a little bit more interesting. Oh, hey, there's my ice bomb again. But, like, I really just kind of don't care. What if we skip 2 and then do 3? 3 with a fog wall randomizer. I would play the heck out of Bloodborne, but that's not out for PC, so. Danuni says, next randomizer, a chance for enemies to become bosses. Definitely. Absolutely. We'll go like as chaotic as possible for sure. Like a reflecting shot in there? I thought skipping to Dark Souls 3 was the plan, says Arcatraz. Well, I guess there wasn't really a true initial plan. It's just kind of go with the flow, we'll see what happens, but Dark Souls 2 is just not that good. It's janky, it's slow, it's dull, it's repetitive, it's kind of uninteresting. Okay, I mean, are we gonna do it? No ammo drops for the whole run? I mean, the sling can carry us. Who said that this was gonna be the challenge? Cat Samurai 2. Can't pick up ammo, so you need new weapons or you have to use your starter pistol. All right, Cat Samurai, this is for you. Here's our challenge run. We're gonna, maybe that's how we're gonna keep Gungeon a little interesting. We're gonna do occasional challenge runs from now on. So here's my challenge run for today. I don't, oh, come on. Now it's just rubbing it in. No ammo, we're just gonna roll with new guns. Ranistan says DS2 makes 1 look like a masterpiece. So that's kind of a loaded question, a loaded comment, I should say, because Dark Souls 1 kind of is a masterpiece. It is a phenomenal game. Okay, not exactly what I had in mind, but Dark Souls 1 is actually very, very good. Dark Souls 2 is not. So you're kind of begging the question of, is Dark Souls 1 that bad? And the answer is absolutely not. Is that the right terminology there, begging the question? What's the classic example? The classic example is, I've heard this somewhere before, I can't remember where. When did you stop beating your wife? Like, the implication is that you have in the past beat your wife. So the implication of Dark Souls 2 makes 1 look like a masterpiece is Dark Souls 1 is not a masterpiece. However, I kind of feel the opposite. I kind of feel like Dark Souls 1 is actually just absolutely incredible. Deacons is a jank fight, says Calazo. Deacons of the Deep is not really hard at all. It's just, you know, every Souls game kind of has a fight like that where it's just mobs that you have to kill. Dark Souls 1 didn't really have that, although I guess it kind of has 4 kings, but it's really just 4 bosses. Deacons of the Deep is you run away from the enemies, they attack you, you run into the enemies, rinse and repeat, and then eventually they'll all die. It's kind of sad just how easy that is. I really want alien sidearm, but I tell you what, let's gun munch. And I'll gun munch the... I mean, maybe we'll save Uzi and we'll use this. Then we'll gun munch it laser, because Uzi's actually like not that bad. Yeah, it's fine. Let's get out of here. PS2 is congregations. Which game had Deacons of the Deep? Is that Souls 2 or is that Souls 3? That wasn't Souls 3, right? I don't remember Deacons in Souls 3. No, that was Souls 2, wasn't it? Yeah, like you go down below, there's that thing in the middle of the room, you get past it, it's like a shrine of some sort. Yeah, that's a Souls 2 thing, right? God, I can't remember. It doesn't matter though, let's get out of here. Dark Souls 2 has the Congregation, 3 has the Deacons of the Deep. Which one's the Congregation then? I don't remember. All Souls games have that one jank boss. Maybe you consider the jank to be the mob boss. I consider jank to be the freaking tree in Dark Souls 1. You don't actually fight anything, you just puzzle the boss out. You have to do some platforming. But like, I think Souls 2 is the worst Souls game. I don't even think that's like that controversial. I think people agree for the most part. And I think part of the reason why is that it's just not a good designed game. Like, the combat encounters aren't fun. There's a lot of trap rooms, getting shot at from behind by ranged enemies while you're attacking melee enemies, 8 guys at once, enemies around the corner. Lots of just like ambushes against the player, which is just, it kind of gets old after a while. I hate the fact that you you break chests if you hit them a couple of times, or if enemies hit chests, you can break the chest and lose the items forever. Then you can't play Fashion Souls. Favorite boss from Elden Ring, asks FaZe Yoshi. Favorite Elden Ring boss? It's gotta be like, I'm gonna try to like run through the game in my head real quick. I'm just gonna give you good examples of bosses. I like Melania, of course. I like Mohg, Lord of Blood. I think that's a very fun fight. I'm going through the fights off the top of my head. I'm like, those are my top two for sure. If I can't remember any of the other ones off the top of my head, they can't be that good, right? Was it Souls 2 or Souls 3 that had the boss where you have to fight an invader? I'm not talking Mirror Knight, because I think that was a Souls 2 boss. I'm talking, there's like a dragon warriors around, you go across a bridge, there's like a really large enemy in a room sitting in a chair, and he's like, attack this person, and then like an NPC invader is summoned that you have to fight, or like a PvP invader. Isn't that a boss? Have you ever met Let Me Solo Her? No, my Elden Ring is live and on camera up on YouTube right now. I had a fun time with Elden Ring though. It was a fun game. I got really good at Melania though. I wasn't able to like flawless her yet, but I did get pretty good at her fight. Just saying. I kind of want to, if I do play some more, that Souls 3 fight, the boss previous to Gale. I don't remember a lot of those bosses in Souls 3. I remember that they exist, I don't remember where they are, I don't remember their names. It's been a long time since I played Souls 3 is the thing. I hated Mohg, that ground fire was so annoying, says Segus Jr. So I'm completely agreeing with you on that. I think the ground fire, the ground blood fire thing is really annoying and awful. But once you kind of get used to it, it's not that bad. But the fight itself and the boss patterns are a lot of fun. Gas mask. Spring heel boots. A key. Holy ammo drops. We are getting a lot of ammo drops, aren't we? I wish I had more cash, because I would love to get Full Metal Jacket. Although, how good would it be if there was a holy grail in the shop? There you go. Mob boss dates back to Phalanx and Demon Souls. So I remember the boss you're talking about, Milt Thompson. It's one of the first bosses that you fight. It's just a big, like weird slug slime thing that has spears and shields, and you have to kill all the segments of it. But even that, it doesn't feel quite as jank as like Deacons of the Deep or something like that, because those things, like, they respawn, don't they? It's an endless swarm of enemies, and then once you do enough damage, it just dies. But at least the Phalanx has a limited number of enemies. It's kind of like Rom the Vacuous Spider, right? There's a certain number of enemies, the spiders, and once you kill them, you can just focus on the boss at that point. Work says, can you still prioritize weapons in this run? Oh, absolutely, I've been doing it. That's why I used Machine Pistol. It's not good without a synergy, so I figured I would just burn through the ammo right now, and then we'll just save it for later, or I'll save better guns for later. So I'm kind of just doing that. You know, using Sling for bosses. I think that's fair, right? The challenge wasn't you have to use whatever gun you pick up. The challenge was you get no ammo. So I'm doing the no ammo run. I can still buy guns, presumably, and I have the sling. which is one of the reasons why I'm doing this, because I actually have, you know, the capability of killing bosses. Yeah, so like, I will say, I stand by Melania being hard, very hard, but fair, and Moog, I think Moog might be my favorite fight. Moog is just so much fun when you actually start, when you start like dodging all of his big blood attacks and you're up close and personal to him. Hey, more ammo. I think that's a very enjoyable fight, and I like that one. Use M1911, and we'll use probably Knight's Gun for the next floor. We got money. We don't need a key. I think I'd rather take the amulet. And then those secret rooms. Haven't found a secret room recently. I checked those walls. Did I check these ones? I think I did. Let's just go. Their Nunu says, I still have not finished Elden Ring. It's a fun game. It's quite long, absolutely. It does kind of grow on you after a while, and I don't actually mean that positively, I mean it kind of negatively. It grows on you like a wart or like an STD. After a while, you start to think to yourself, wow, I'm seeing a lot of like reused bosses and patterns, but then you get occasional new bosses that you've never fought before, like Moog. Wait a minute, they actually reused Moog as well. Maybe not the best example. I still like the fight. But yeah, there's a little bit too much reuse. The game is so long, it's hard to get away from that, but it's still great. Ooh. It's a very helpful map and key. Blue chest, blue chest, blue chest, brown chest. Boo. Plaza says, I still remember the first time I got the tree boss fight, and the second and the third. Well, themed bosses are... There's no way out of that. Themed bosses are one thing. Like, the fact that there are these tree guardians, or ulcerated tree spirits as the alternative. Okay, I don't need two maps game. I like that because it makes sense that they are going to be like a similar enemy. There's nothing wrong with that innately. What I don't like is Godskin Duo and then, or sorry, Godskin and then Fat Godskin and then Godskin Duo and then another Godskin fight. It's like, okay, how many of these Godskin guys are there? Sure, it might make sense in the lore, but at least the tree spirits, you know, you come across one of those and you're like, oh, I know what this is. It's another tree fight. What's the best secret room you can get in Gungeon? There's two. One of the best secret rooms is just 4 chests. You can get like 4 green quality chests out of it, and it's phenomenal. The other best secret room you can get is just 1 red chest. Or 1 black chest, but it's oftentimes not a black chest. It's mostly often a red chest, but it's a relatively common secondary secret room. It's a second secret room, not a primary secret room. The best primary secret room you can get is a brown, a blue, and a green chest, with the brown chest being unlocked. That's pretty good. Shotgun full of hate. We'll probably buy that. You see that? Yeah, I know I got hit there. Kind of running out of ammo in this gun, but you know what? At least we can gun munch it later. You see that? It's hard to see. There's a line on the mini-map, like a weird dark line, and I actually thought maybe it was indicating a wall mimic, but I think it's just a part of the mini-map system. Like it's trying to scale up at a not 1-to-1 aspect ratio, and so sometimes some of the lines are duplicating. It's very strange. I've never noticed that before. Weird. You know what's better than one map? 47 maps? How many maps is too many maps? If only we could save one of the maps for the next floor, right? Should probably be used. Oh my god, the ammo! Why did I decide to do this now? Come on, you gotta go. You know what? Actually, that'll work. We gotta occasionally decide to use a better weapon here. Gemacho Libre, welcome. Why not picking up ammo drops? You can blame Cat Samurai for that one. I think FromSoft do design good bosses, said Mill Thompson. You want to know what's good boss design? Bloodborne bosses. I actually have been kind of looking up some information on Bloodborne over the past little while, just because I like putting on like Let's Plays or whatever when I'm doing my own work. But I never previously appreciated just how Eldritchian Bloodborne actually is. But it is Eldritch dialed up to like 11, and it's actually so much fun to learn about the lore of that game. All right, look, there's the bees. Now we're gonna suck them up into a black hole. The furry box makes me feel something, says Brian Banegas. Which one? You're basically fighting beasts. Well, you start by fighting beasts and hunters, and then after a while, you're fighting like Cthulhu, god of the deep, or Yarnhum, the Pthukarian queen, and you're like, what the heck? Where did this come from? Why do we have a good reload? Oh, reload up. That would believe it. I would believe that would do. I would believe it. You know what I mean? Or do you? Actually, this seems like a good boss-killing weapon. And then we have MacLeod. Oh yeah! MacLeod, where you just run around in a circle for like 5 minutes. That's such a... That's the jank fight for Bloodborne, for sure. There is a mob fight as well, but that's like the jank fight. That's so good. Yeah, I forgot about MacLeod. Don't you fight him up by the baby area? Look, if you don't know anything about Bloodborne, this doesn't make any sense. Don't you fight MacLeod up when you kill the baby? That and Rom were the jank fights. I don't think Rom was a jank fight. Rom was a limited number minion fight. And then you also had a fight against the aliens, and the aliens was an unlimited numbers minion fight. So you kind of had like one of each, right? And then the jank fight is MacLeod, the like puzzle fight. Whether it's MacLeod or the... I forget what it's called in Dark Souls 1, the tree. The Bed of Chaos. That's the jank fight. Why not use the sling? So that's a good question. This is one of those like little Gungeon things that you kind of pick up on after a while. Everyone has their own strategies for things. The reason why I'm not using the sling, it does good damage, but the RPG breaks bullets. So occasionally we will be breaking the bullets that this guy fires, which makes my dodging easier. You can even time your explosions if you want to break his bullets when he fires them. Like that. So with a little bit of use, you can actually get a lot of value out of something like an RPG here. It's slow, but we have a reload up. It's not that bad for the fight. Let's save our sling ammo for like harder bosses. This guy's not that hard. We're gonna anger the Chancellor. Maybe we didn't? Oh, literally just a bad dodge. Speedrunners just free aim fire bombs to kill the bed of chaos. Yo, you can do that? I didn't know you could do that. Makes sense. This is our speedrunner strat item right there, but instead I'm just gonna hold the black hole gun, I guess. Black hole gun! Although if we hold this, we can sell it later. Is that worth the Shield of the Maiden? You know what, we're out of ammo for the other gun. Why not? We'll sell the cheese wheel because it's S tier. We can sell it now, wait. Hold on. Hold on. Hello, get out of here. So we can G this. We get like 50 credits out of it. Like 40. Although we do have the ice cube, so we could be almost certainly literally invincible forever, and that would be kind of fun. But what we're gonna do instead is we are going to sell the machine pistol with F. We're gonna sell the... I think we're actually gonna keep the RPG for gun munching. We're gonna buy shotgun. We're gonna buy key. Yeah, that seems pretty good. So we're kind of just like recycling old guns and turning them into new guns, but that's like kind of the point. You know, I'm also gonna get rid of the Shield of the Maiden so we can hold another active item. And then let's get out of here. Yeah. Found 2 secret rooms. Let's go. You sit in the middle and free aim 2 fire bombs to kill the sides and then kill the little one. Oh, I thought maybe you would firebomb the slug in the tree before you kill the things on the left and the right. That makes a little bit, oh, that was just a bad dodge roll. That makes a little bit more sense though. You would firebomb the trees and then you don't have to do that whole run jump section. And, you know, actually, I suppose what I should be gathering is that speedrunners are not allowed to use exploits in Dark Souls 1, right? Because otherwise, wouldn't they just wrong warp directly to the kiln of the first flame? Like, technically you can do that. You can cheat your way into the final boss fight without having to fight the Bed of Chaos, but... I guess that's just not allowed. Lobos once did a cheese all bosses run. It was cool. Cheese all bosses? Would you cheese all the bosses? I mean, I had a cheese wheel, but I sold it. Difference between exploits and glitches. Is there though? I mean, what's the difference between an exploit and the glitch? One is intentional, one isn't. They both are not intentional. A glitch could be considered an exploit. I didn't see that shot. Congratulations, you hit me. I find that kind of frustrating. Reading up on, you know, various speedrunning communities and whatnot, and they're like, this is what's allowed, this is what's not allowed. I read an article on someone who had done a hitless run of all of the Souls games. So they played like Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, and Elden Ring, fought all the bosses and didn't get hit once. Whether or not they did that or a misunderstanding what the article was about, I don't know. But I read up on hitless runs for Souls games, and it's like, okay, you can't use any magic, you have to use a sword, you can't use a shield, you can't parry, you can't block, and it's like, why all the restrictions on this, you know? Why not let someone parry, and if they get the parry correct, then let them, you know, treat it as a no-hit or something like that, right? You're being very restrictive. It's, at this point, it's not a no-hit run, it's a, you know, very specific run. I understand the need to have like some sort of restrictions, of course, because otherwise people would just, you know, play magic, which is just easy. Maybe not in all the Souls games, but you know, you just nuke a boss in Elden Ring using all of your like physique flasks and everything, and you know that power overwhelming spell. But like it seems very restrictive. Is all I'm trying to say. Dark Souls 1, you can abuse a lot of stuff. Yeah, but Dark Souls 1 is also like jank as hell. Kind of gives it a little bit of its charm. Exploit is an unintended use of an intended mechanic. Glitches are not intended mechanics. Okay, so is it an exploit or a glitch that I can drop the metronome, change weapons, pick it up, and then keep my metronome bonus? Because it's not intended, but I would be definitely exploiting it for my own benefit. Most popular categories tend to be stuff like all bosses, says Calazo. Like all bosses, no hit, all bosses, any hit, all bosses, any percent, all bosses glitched. All bosses when you wear a bucket on your head. How do I get up there? It's... Okay, first of all, I accidentally swapped my guns. What would this count as? Would this count as not picking up ammo? I'm not picking up the ammo, I'm just praying to a god. How would you classify this? Would that be an exploit or a glitch? Or would that just be a loophole? Like, I signed the contract, it said nothing about statues. You just said I couldn't pick up ammo boxes. This would be an exploit. Let's see who we're fighting. That one, please. Ah, I'm poisoned. Makes a lot of sense, actually. Hitless all boss any percent combo. Surely I've got something else I don't really care about, like maybe membrane. Ironically, I would kind of like to have an RPG for this fight because it can do damage while he's invisible, but he's dead anyways. Rules lawyering is not cool. Okay, we got another mimic here. And that is... No, that's shock rounds. That is not bouncing bullets, that is shock rounds. Still good, though. I mean, we do have a lot of shotgun weapons here, and then poison immunity. Perfect timing for that one. Meow. Meow. Electric bullets. Secret room. Secret room. I don't know. Secret room? It's not gonna be here. Not there. Is it south of this room? Nope. I'm gonna try this room. Alright. Dun, 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 dun. We'll buy the key. I think I'm gonna buy the Colt. I don't know what the synergy is for it. Let's see. 2 kinds of people. Guns and shovels. All right. We could sell some stuff. I think we should sell the M1911. It's out of ammo. We will roll probably Colt and the Membrane. Colt's actually got a lot of ammo, and it's not a bad weapon in and of itself. All right. By the way, I'm still thinking in my head that I don't know what my favorite boss of Elden Ring is. I think it's still those 2. By the way, Dream Mist finally caught a Gungeon run on Twitch. Well, good to see you. I saw your message. I was just in the middle of something. And Bronx Bomber, hello. I wish the resourceful rat was available later than it is in this game. I understand why it's available when it's available, because you get so many resources by doing the fight that you need to be able to sacrifice a lot for the fight. But I also wish that it was a little bit later. Thoughts on General Radon? You mean the festival? So I hear it was an absolutely chaotic and amazing mess on release, but I never played the festival fight on release when he was absurdly overpowered. He had like glitched hitboxes and he did too much damage or something like that. Like he would one-shot most players. That kind of sounds like a lot of fun because it would be a huge challenge, and I like challenges. The fight it's fun, but like it's not even close to being up there on like top X boss fights of all time for Elden Ring. Like, it's good, it's not that good. It's unique, it's adequate. You mean Radigan? No, different person? Which one's which? No, right, okay, wait, Radon, is Radon the redhead? Radon is, Marika? I don't know, okay, I'm just gonna call it. I don't know which one's which. If that was Radigan, it's Radigan. If it's Radon, it's Radon. If you mean Radon as in the final fight, like Radon into Beast, I thought it was kind of just like meh, kind of underwhelming. We'll take it. Radigan is the final boss. Wait. So Radigan, oh, you just misspelled Radigan. So there's Radigan and Radon. General Radon is Festival, right? I'm confused. Because I am confused, I immediately don't like the boss. Because it's the same name. God damn, I mean, that is probably my biggest criticism of Elden Ring. Even more so than some of the bosses are a little bit rehashed. The fact that you need a goddamn encyclopedia to understand any of the context for any of the names of any of the characters in that game blows my goddamn mind. Who was the dumbass? I know the dumbass was who made all of the characters in the game. God, I never know who anybody is in that game. And it's one of those things where it's like, that feels like a design error. I know there's supposed to be meaning behind the names, but more so, the player has to be able to understand what's going on in the plot and the story. And I feel like I am an average player, as far as it comes to stuff like that. I like reading the lore and kind of understanding what's going on, but I'm not gonna, alt tab to the wiki whenever I pick up a piece of loot and then make sure that it's got like the updated item description from version 1.4.8 when they fixed the typo It's not supposed to be Radahn's sword, it's Radagon's sword, and that changes so much about the actual structure of the game. Like, just... You know what would have made everything more straightforward is if every character in that game had a name from A to Z. So you fight Annie, Bob, Charlie, Dick, Einstein, Frederick, Gunther, Hermione, Indigo Montoya, that's not his name, I forget his name. You killed my father, prepare to die. Mud says, X-Andy. I want easy to understand lore, okay? Zegas Jr. says, fun fact, the RR in George R.R. Martin stands for Radahn Radagon. God damn it. All Souls bosses have really weird names. Yeah, but there's a difference between weird names and names that all sound exactly the same unless you write them down. Or it sounds like maybe you coughed halfway through the name and then you said the wrong name. God damn, like, I just hate it so much. Nice water, that's a not good synergy. Mr. Clark Nova, welcome, happy birthday, it's your birthday, happy birthday. I said that very strangely. Because I both read your comment and congratulated you at the same breath. Tandy. Mandy. At least Dancer of the Boreal Valley is easy to say, lol. Like, so, I like that way of naming bosses more because of the Boreal Valley is descriptive, you know? Radahn, Radagon, Ratatouille, Ratatouille, all these freaking similar sounding names, it just leads to confusion. But if someone is just X of Y, then, oh, I understand the reference here. They are of Y, instead of, oh, well, all of their names begin with RA. How freaking clever. Because there's many enemies that are of the Boreal Valley in Souls. Souls 3 in particular. But then you kind of recognize them by their unique name, like Dancer of the Boreal Valley. I know that boss, It's the one that has the two different colored swords, and you fight it when you go talk to the lady after you do all the other boss stuff that you have to do. And alternatively, you can fight that boss super early in Dark Souls by just killing the old lady. You monster. But at least it's got a unique freaking name. Anyways, yes, I think that Mohg is my favorite boss in Elden Ring. Just because it's a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun playing against Mohg. Artorias. Artorias was fun. Good old-fashioned Christian name, Artorias. What are the werewolf and paladin duo names, says Brian Banegas. What game are you talking about? Werewolf and paladin duo. Snowballer is amazing. If you ever have a freezing gun for Wallmonger, the only thing you gotta pay attention to is the 4 lines of bullets with the fire in the middle. When the fire goes out and goes down the middle, you can't roll straight through them because the shots are really slow. You've got to dodge to the side, specifically. Werewolf duo. Werewolf and paladin duo names. Paladin? When do you fight duos other than the Godskin duos? Elden Ring's plot was about getting bees. You mean maidens? A lot. When do you fight a werewolf duo? I'm trying to think in my head. I'm like, Werewolf duo? Can afford this. Tarnished got no bees. We should get rid of maybe like a Guan stone. It'll give us enough money to buy this. Now we have no extra cash, but I don't really want to sell my guns. I'm still kind of hoping that maybe we can get a gun muncher and we can gun munch the shovel, which is why I'm not buying it. Hey, reload stone, infinite ammo, right? Bronze Crucible Knight. Yeah, is that what you mean, Bane Gas, when you fight two Crucible Knights? Because don't you do that fight when you're fighting the Spirit Caller Snail? Oh, I know what you mean. Okay, yeah, Werewolf and Paladin. What you are talking about is the Misbegotten Warrior and the Crucible Knight fight, right? He's not a Paladin, first of all. And he's not a werewolf. He's a Misbegotten. Okay, I remember now. To answer the question, that is a fun fight, but it's not even close to being like one of my favorite fights. Nope, not them. Oh my god. Well, who the heck is Werewolf Paladin Duo? I don't have like any memory of that in my head. You have to remind me. Where is this fight located? There are some fights in Elden Ring where you fight multiple enemies. The Castle Soul. You fight the general and a bunch of guys. I think it's 2. I'm gonna search them. It says Bane Gas. Oh, you also don't know, huh? What's the name of these guys? I don't know. Where are they? What are you talking about? I don't know. Let me look it up. Thanks. Really appreciate it. Feel like I'm the one losing my mind here. And you should be dead. Speaking of Crucible Knight, I really like the Crucible Knight fight. But I also do not think that's one of my like top boss fights. This is not really a boss fight. He acts as a boss sometimes, but oh damn it, I didn't see you. But it's a well-designed minion for sure. Which one? I mean, I guess they're all the well, no, they're not all the same. There's like 3 different variants. There's tail variant, fire breath variant, and spear variant, right? I like the one where you stayed up until 3 a.m. fighting it. I feel like, Bubonic Lettuce, you are referring to the one on the edge of Stormvale Castle, which is where I first learned how to fight Crucible Knights, and then I've never forgotten since then how to fight them. And I will always remember how to fight them due to the fact that it did take me like 2 hours, but it was a blast, and that was a great fight. But since Elden Ring does kind of reuse bosses on occasion, there's no problem fighting that guy for like 3 hours, learning his patterns, because you're gonna fight him like 8 more times. Plazo says I cheesed the heck out of that one. The one on the side of Stormvale? Is there like a way you can knock him off the edge or something? That'd be funny. Also, you dirty cheeser, you dirty cheeser. Please die, thank you. You gotta go. That was just dumb. I keep dodging in the wrong direction today. You can get it stuck in the ruins in the arch. So it can't move, and then you just hit it a bunch of times. That's how I killed the Taurus demon in my Souls randomizer. I got it stuck in the cathedral door. The Chapel of Anticipation. No, that's the wrong game. And I just murdered it. You Dirty Cheeser, says the man with how many FTL copy saves. So here's the thing, right? You're not wrong. I had a lot of FTL save game copies that I would always copy when I wanted to mostly test things, or I want to not get completely screwed over and ruin the whole run just because I wanted to try something fun. You know, like for instance, yesterday I made a copy of my FTL save file because I wanted to see what the options were for an event that would, I thought it was just literally going to kill you. And so I didn't want to just die. But then I also created a copy of the save file because I realized, hey, we have an opportunity to do an optional hard fight, but if we fail, we lose the whole game. So I just didn't want to risk losing the whole game. That's not cheesing, because I'm still doing the fight. That's creating a backup, you know, creating a copy. That's not wanting to lose, you know, 3 hours of recording progress. Am I creating excuses for myself? Absolutely. But there's a difference, I think. The difference is I intend to play the game the way it's meant to be played. I just want to not screw myself over due to my own greed. That counts, right? What the heck? Look, I know you're in this room. Please leave me alone. Well, I haven't seen him in chat. Is Cat Samurai here? Hello? Because I need to know if Casey is an acceptable gun. Because if I can use Casey, I can short circuit your entire requirement. He is here. Okay, can I use Casey? Because I can short circuit the entire requirement for your run of not needing to pick up ammo. You lost FTL last night? Actually, no. I didn't even need the save file copy at all. It was a great run. I didn't even reload when half of my crew died, but they came back later as sweet cube cyborgs. What? The hand followed you? Yes. If you have Table Tech Stun, or in this case, Table Tech Blank and a Blank, which causes a stun, or some other thing that causes a stun. The hand, if it gets stunned, is no longer considered an enemy. So when you kill the other enemy in the room ends, but because it's an enemy, it actually still follows you. The thing is, as soon as it does its attack once, it'll die. It's very strange. Mud says, I've never seen that before either. Really? We see it happen like once every like 10 runs. Well, not really. Maybe like once every 10 times we find a hand. It's actually a relatively common occurrence. It was a Crucible Knight fight. Had a brain fart, says Brian Banegath. I do forget the specific name. Is it Misbegotten Warrior and Crucible Knight? Where you fight him in Radagon's castle, right before the festival, whatever it is. Yeah, Samurai says no. I forgot what the question was. Is the question, can I use Casey or can I not use Casey? I've already forgotten. I will play fair though. I will use probably the sling at this point. We're fighting the dragon. Probably take a commando as well. No Casey. Oh, boo! All right, let's, oh, there's a gun muncher! I'm dumb, but also, we gun munch. We get Knight's gun. We get RPG. That ship was so OP, says Das Bolt. It was a very good ship, wasn't it? And I'm not talking about good ship lollipop. I'm talking good ship, just let the auto-fire missiles do the job for you. I mean, any ship where you basically do 1 DPS passively, it's a pretty good ship. Because we're talking about missiles that don't miss. Well, I guess they sometimes miss. They are called missiles after all. 138, 138, 138, 138. 62, 125, 30. Yo, my familiar does a lot of damage. Also, our sling does a lot of damage. 138, 138, 62, 138. 62, 62, 62, 138. And you can see, as I fire faster, we actually do less damage per shot because of the damage cap thing. That's why I'm kind of shooting and then taking a second, shooting and then taking a second. We want to save ammo. By the way, I'm still trying to think about... I can't use that. I'm still trying to think about some of my favorite boss fights in Elden Ring to continue to answer the question. I think I have answered it, though. I think Moog is number 1, and Melania is probably number 2. Gotta do one more phase, but that's fine. If only I was using the Casey. There, Nunu, have a good night. Like, even the dragons, like the Deathbed Fia final boss dragon, it's like, whatever, it's just another dragon. Demonic Lettuce says, if I'm remembering correctly, there was a quest in Elden Ring where you took something off of Ranni's corpse and you gave it to Ranni. You take the... You find her corpse on the roof of one of the towers. I believe that allows you to renew one of the great runes. You also find a doll of her that you can talk to. You also find a ring which you give to her, and then she gives you the Moonlight Greatsword. I forget what. You know what though? As part of that quest, when you fight the space marble squid beast, that's a pretty fun fight. I like that one. Estelle, yes, thank you. What about, by the way, someone asked about Godric. I think Godric is a piece of crap. I think I did Godric on the second attempt. I hate to say it, but it was a it's a hard thing to take all the bosses in the game and put them to a list. No. Really wish we had more accuracy. The charm bracelet? Oh, the charm bracelet. Not my damage bonus. Oh, I did get hit. That's what Mud's referring to. You know what? Freaking get out of here. Estella's a charm bracelet. Oh, I can kind of see that. Yeah. I'm just gonna switch back. I'm gonna lose my damage bonus, but whatever. Good Breaker, welcome. How's it going today? Not what I saw him as Segas Jr. Why do I immediately know what you're referring to? Is it because it's you or because we both have dirty minds? Segas. Not what I saw him as. Oh God, you dirty boy. It says, oh, those kinds of beads. Oh, that's what you mean. What other... So, I'm gonna ask chat, what are your favorite bosses in Elden Ring then? Because obviously I'm incapable of thinking of any additional bosses. Apparently, in my brain, there were only 2 bosses. Lightning Dragon, says Twigbreaker. Lightning Dragon, there's 2 primary Lightning Dragons. One of them kind of approaches you randomly in the capital. I should say outside of the capital area. And then there's the Lightning Dragon that you fight as the final boss to Fia's quest. Neither of those really interest me all that much. They're just like annoying dragons. I fought dragons before. What I have not fought is a boss that forces you to spend like 4 of your flasks on the fight just because he puts a curse on you. And yes, I know that there's a way around that. I just never figured it out on my own. They're cool though. The boss arena one in Farum Azula. You are referring to the ancient dragon that has 2 heads, I think? I can see that. That's at least a meaningful, more interesting, and more unique dragon because it is like an elder dragon. And it's not just like one of the 2 dragons in the game. Yeah, okay. Flaccidus sex. No love for Godric, I see. Godric is dumb. I hate him. No one likes Godric. Godric, the home of the horrible grafted enemies that are really annoying to actually fight. And then him, who's like a pushover. Fire Giant needs more love, says FaZe Yoshi. Fire Giant also sucks. I'd find it very amusing that he rips off his own leg, but otherwise I'm like, you're just kind of like a dude. You're a big dude, but you're also kind of just uninteresting. I'm trying to think, what other, Dude, thank you, Mimic. That was a great block for me. I'm trying to think, what other interesting fights are in that game? I can't really think of any. Like, I'm struggling. I'm trying to think of interesting bosses too, and not just, when you defeat Morgul and you open the way to the mountaintops of the giant, and on the bridge it fades to black and there's 2 enemies that you have to kill, but they're just like normal dudes. It's like, that's not a very good boss fight. The 3rd Godskin, that's a pretty good, no, that's not a good boss fight either. So I'm trying to think of all of the like interesting, unique fights, and I'm like, okay, well, I've already named the 2 that I like. Whoa, spoilers. Whoa! You know, I was gonna say, I prefer you didn't do that attack. Mimic, come here. Oh. You're supposed to body block this guy. Ooh, that was my bullet. Horaloo, says Segas Jr. Nah, Horaloo's kind of garbage too. And you know what's interesting is that in my head, I'm like, it's not even a bad fight. It's just, I barely remember it. It wasn't hard. It wasn't, maybe it's got like some heavy lore implications, but in my head, I'm like, it was just a guy. Just like an uninteresting guy. And then wasn't there like a ghost Horaloo as well? Like, don't you fight two? You fight Horaloo outside of the tree, and then you fight a ghost Horaloo inside the upper Capitol building. Although he was named something else. He was the first Lou. Oh yeah, don't you fight Godfrey and Godfroy, and it's like the same boss, and you're like, wow, how come grafting was in such high demand in the past? That was a very lazy boss fight, wasn't it? Like, I liked the Everjails because you fight late game enemies as bosses now, and that's a lot of fun. Like, you fight a Crucible Knight, you fight one of the dancers, the Zoras. I don't remember their names. Yeah, I would say Moog, number one. Godfroy is the Godric copy. Oh, Godfroy. What's with the freaking names? Call him George. God George. Anyways, instead of Roy and Rick. For those of you on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. Like the video if you've enjoyed it. Hey, subscribe for more. Check me out on Twitch for when I go live. Support the channel, any of the links below in the video description, and I hope to see you here again for the next run of Enter the Gungeon. And I do believe we have not picked up a single ammo drop on the entire run. So there you go.